Thank you.
Thanks, Mom.
It's a weird thing you guys got going on, but
Wait.
I can't hate.
Things on?
Can't hate. Is it on?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, we'll do it live.
What is up, Daniel?
Not too much. I said, let's start over.
Okay, start now. What is up, Daniel?
I tried to type in Matthew, but I typed in Mathwoo. Mathmoo.
That's my favorite hot dog eater.
I can't do it. I can't type.
Mathwoo. You should see that guy.
You should see him.
So I've got a couple things that I'm just going to break it down on the beginning of this one. We're going to do kind of a short one, I think, this time. But like a condensed, brief, homie sesh.
Yeah, just like a short, brief, condensed, like smaller, shorter, less to it, kind of like.
This one's 3 hours long.
Yeah, we sat for 9 hours and then we try to whittle it down to about 6.5.
Yeah, you'll get 6 solid minutes of content. So it's spooky season. There's a couple things that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the updates of the Titan submarine instance, because that's all going to court right now.
Oh, okay.
So you remember about that? The Titan?
Spooky submarine.
The spooky submarine. Yeah, that was the offshoot of the Beatles. It was you remember that Titan ship that went down to go
I remember.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now it's all going to court and some shit's going down. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. And then I also got some stuff about, that's why I'm drinking it here, Jaeger. It's my October juice. I love it. I know, you know.
You've got a problem.
I got a problem with Jaeger, man. And then I also have one more thing about, just a funny story about people on a plane, and an X-rated movie was played for an hour to every screen.
Don't give it all away.
That's the story.
That's the story. It was crazy.
Right. Well, I just mentioned it, and that was it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got? What do you got to bring to this episode?
We got a new segment for spooky season that I like to call "These Are My Villains."
These are my
villains.
Nice.
And we're just gonna go over a real piece of shit whenever I think of doing one.
No, I like that. That's cool.
Like find somebody from history who's done some terrible things, and
the Iron Bull.
Who's that again?
Well, it was a contraption.
Oh, right, that was a thing.
It was a thing that we talked about.
That These Are My Villain type would use. Right.
But it sounded like a Mexican wrestler.
Yes,
the Iron Bull.
Yes.
Yeah. It cracks me up to this day about thinking about that little segment. Look it up. It's on our Instagram. Cool. Okay, so do you want to go into These Are My Villains first, or do you want to go with a little short story?
Go ahead.
Okay, cool. And that is this episode. So these are my
friends.
Thank you. All right. So passengers left speechless after X-rated movie is played on every screen during flight. Yeah, that was speechless. So a Qantas Airways flight, Qantas, Qantas, doesn't matter, but Qantas Airways flight played an X-rated movie on every screen, which was impossible to turn off.
It was the fullest plane they'd ever flown.
Yeah, it was. They've never sold out like this, and this happened.
People were just flying back and forth.
It was a private jet. Qantas Airways has come under fire for allegedly playing an extremely inappropriate movie on all of its screens and taking almost an hour to realize. Whether you wanted to or not, you'll have heard all about raw dog in flights in recent months. However, I wonder what it would be called if you sat down on a plane and were forced to watch a film with graphic nudity, unable to switch channels or turn it off. Well, that's allegedly what happened on Qantas flight QF59, which traveled from Sydney, Australia to Tokyo, Japan yesterday, so October 5th. So this is like brand new.
Sheesh.
You might hear a dog whining in the background. That's just because I got a new dog kennel ring.
What's that?
A dog ring? Isn't that where you like breed dogs and
a dog ring? You got a new dog ring? With Michael Vick in it downstairs? Sheesh.
Shut up. I'll feed you in a second.
Holy crap.
No, we're house sitting a very cool dog, and he's dope as hell. His name's Goose, but you may hear him in the background whining.
Goose.
Yeah.
Goose is a good one, but he's a little high strung.
Very high strung. Yeah. Okay. So blah, 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 blah. The guy says an in-flight entertainment system was down on board the flight, and after a 1 hour delay, the pilot decided to take off anyway. But the only option left for the crew to play a movie on every screen. Look, we've all been where someone's got a speaker out and wants to jump on the aux. It's a lot of pressure. Such responsibility, not everyone is going to agree with your choices. Alas, to make it even more a tricky decision for the Qantas crew, the film was impossible to pause, dim, or turn off. Once selected,
and just dim it down.
It was, there was like, wait, can we just have the brightness down all the way? At least so my kids don't see this?
Yeah, no doubt.
And the film that ended up on screens, unfortunately, ended up being that sort which certainly wasn't meant for all ages of eyes. Passengers continued. Here's the kicker. The movie they played was extremely inappropriate. It featured graphic nudity, a lot of sexting, the kind where you could literally read the text on the screen without needing headphones. It took almost an hour.
The video has sexting in it.
I know, that's what I was wondering. I'm like, what bullshit B movie is this that has like sexting in it? And it was just like throwing a porn?
I can't wait until the next scene, baby. I can't wait until the scene changes and then we're actually in the same room doing something together.
Oh, wait. 2 hours later. Yeah. That's what I was wondering. I'm like, and the other thing too is it doesn't say what film it was. Then I'm sure it's just their PR people are holding it back.
No, you can't be just saying,
It took almost an hour for this before they switched to a more kid-friendly movie, but it was super uncomfortable for everyone, especially with families and kids on board. The passenger attached 3 images of scenes in question, although only one from the sexting parts, no nudity, because that would just be repeating the same issue, right?
Was it just like 50 Shades or something? Like they threw on like.
Yeah. I don't even know. So, anyways, I could get into like the.
I've never seen those movies.
Deep Necker. I've seen the first one. I worked on the second one.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I've told you about that.
Right.
Yeah. And then you
were one of the male models.
I was the butt model. Yeah.
Yes.
I was the butt model. Yeah. That was my job. No, I was the guy that let.
I thought I recognized the butt.
No, I let the train go through the set when we were recording, and I got in shit from the AD. Is what I did. Yeah. So, the guy that fucked up the scene, part 1, Dylan McCannell is what I'm credited.
Nice one, dude.
Yeah, I know. Solid. Anyway, so like the whole thing is broken down and it's just them bitching about it and shit like that. And then people are like commenting on the post being like, oh, that just sounds like something that like a pissed off pilot would do on his last day or this, that, the other thing. And apparently it was just a solid accident. They played something that was like, it's not an X-rated movie. I don't know why the title's that, it's just clickbait, but it's like probably an R-rated movie that had nudity in it. And then
it's not like they just put on porn.
No,
that's what they would do if it was like an angry last, like some kind of prank or whatever, probably.
Some kind of fuckface calling it quits.
Probably just put on, who knows, like selected the movie beside the one it was supposed to be, or like.
Or they were just like, oh, this is critically acclaimed. It's an R-rated movie, but it's like has like graphic nudity. The pilot doesn't give a shit. He's got a job to do. He's flying to Tokyo, and he's just like, okay, well, let's put this on. And then he's like flying, and people are like, oh, and then it took the
giant line up to the bathroom. And
what do you call those receptionists on the plane?
A flight attendant.
That, yes. Took an hour for the.
You go up to their desk.
I don't approve of the movie that's on right now.
Hi, can I have some peanuts?
Could you wait and sit down? I'll call your number when you're ready. Yeah. It's like, wait, shit. But it was, it was crazy. It took an hour for anybody to realize or say anything, and then they finally switched it to something more kid-friendly. So,
wow.
One of the comments that I was just like, is like, yo, why isn't just the go-to Shrek? Like, just if you're ever in that situation where you can't.
Some people fly all the time, though.
Shrek.
They've seen Shrek 9,630
Well, that's their own fault. Then fine. Then they get raw dogging 52.
Finally. Those people were fine with it. They had seen Shrek too many times already. They probably put it on.
They fucking got what they paid for.
Too many times. Who am I kidding?
Yeah. Seen Shrek too many times?
Somebody wants. Oh yeah. Sorry. I won't.
It's a safe bet though, right? Like there's a million safe bets, and
there's several Shrek movies.
Yeah. So you just recycle, just rinse and repeat. So anyways, that's the first story I wanted to go into. We don't have to elaborate any more than that.
No, that's as much as anyone can handle of that.
Pretty funny though. Just imagine being on a plane an hour of
Okay, so to that, hold on.
Yeah.
Just before you continue, that reminds me of a smaller version of this where my coworker and I were helping a rather elderly gentleman to purchase some CBD oil or something like that in the dispensary.
Right.
And we're standing there and helping, and then Spotify decides to jump to a track that is just porn noises. Like
White Zombie?
I don't know. It's just like not even music. There's no music. It's just like the audio of a hardcore porn. Like just a woman like moaning. And
if I know what the song is,
it's not a song. It's not a song. Oh. It's just a track of that. I'm telling you. It's just like
shit. Okay.
Somebody has trolled. Like somebody has put on a porn audio.
Right.
Like it doesn't go to some rap song or something. It's not like the Biggie Smalls thing. It's like, it's just straight up porn. So like we were just like mortified, and I tried to be like this old man standing there looking at us like what the, like terrified, wide eyes. I'm just like, oh, thanks a lot, Spotify. Let me go change that. I'm trying to figure. He just like dead stared at us, and my coworker, I swear to God, they were gonna die. Like
that's horrifying.
It was so bad.
You're trying to run a professional business.
I skipped the song. I didn't even look at what it was, which was dumb. I should have checked it out and blocked it or whatever. I just totally like next, and okay, no more of that, and like pick some other music. Apparently, it happened again to this same person, the same poor person,
old dude.
No.
Oh, the same worker.
My coworker.
Yes.
And while some people were in the store and my boss at the same time. This
is somebody fucking with them?
Well, it's just shuffle, right? It's just like the algorithm put it on again for some reason.
What is this person listening to?
We're listening to like Thundercat and like
hell yeah, dope
hip hop and like, all kinds of shit. Nothing to do with that, obviously. What are they listening to?
Well, no, like
porn noises to fall asleep to, to study to.
The reason why I bring that up is because like White Zombie, that's Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
His first band, White Zombie, More Human Than Human is a song. And literally like the first minute of that song is just a girl getting railed. And it's her moaning. And it's like Janja Janja. And it's we didn't, which would still be awkward as fuck.
I mean, we didn't let it get that long, but like, yeah, still awkward as fuck. It wasn't, I don't think it was Rob Zombie. We're not listening to anything like that.
So,
but
I've just had Spotify for 5 years and I've never had that happen to me. It's crazy.
No, I don't know what the hell. But we got trolled or something happened. And then a third time it happened to this same person.
No way.
Yeah, and apparently they found the song and like blocked it this time. And like,
did they tell you what song it is? I'm just
no, I don't know what it is. I don't know what the hell it was. It's just like,
that's too good. That's fucked.
It was crazy. I felt so bad. They would just be mortified. Like,
I mean, what do you do in that situation? You're like, sweating balls.
Run to the
yeah.
I'm so sorry. This Spotify keeps doing this horrible thing, like running to the.
And they're just like, well, it's Spotify, so it's obviously algorithmic to what you're doing. So what are you doing? Yeah.
Like,
horny bitch.
Only one like that.
Yeah, totally.
Oh my God, terrible.
That sucks. Yeah.
Anyway,
all right.
So that's how to feel completely mortified in front of a customer.
Been there.
Don't think you have.
Not like that. I've definitely had it where I was working at a store that you used to work at.
Mm-hmm.
And we had Buddy have his laptop plugged in, and then there was like certain music playing that is on the no-no list, and then a certain regional manager walking in and not being stoked about what was going on the speakers.
Whoopsies.
And I was MOD.
One time we were like closing the root cellar, and we had the door like kind of open to bring in the apple carts and stuff. We had Ice Cube, No Vaseline playing.
Nice.
And it's just at its worst point, and this dad and his kid walk in, and they're like, oh, hello? Are you guys on? I'm like, like run to the back and like turn, like dive for the volume knob. Like, you're not supposed to be here. What the hell?
Get your yams and get the fuck out.
Yeah. I was so mortified back then. Now it's like whatever. People know rap music. They don't even listen to what's going on.
Oh yeah, just white noise.
No, not.
Oh no. Anything on the speakers. Rap isn't white noise. Speakers at a grocery store is white noise. It's like it could be Train, it could be Ice Cube. Half the time you're like, what the fuck? Anyways, okay. Do you want to go into your segment of These Are My Villains?
These are my villains. Yeah. So in this case, since it's the spooky season, I've always had a particular interest and distaste for this guy, Sir Matthew Baillie Begbie. You probably heard of him, the hanging judge.
I've never heard of him.
Never heard of the hanging judge? You know Bastion Square downtown?
Yep.
Right? So like their courthouse was down there or whatever, and that's apparently Bastion Square is where they used to do the hangings. Public executions.
I've never done the ghost tour.
Yeah, I have done it. So yeah, that's probably where I know this from or whatever. I've done a couple of those ghost tours. But anyway, yeah, so born 1819, and died in 1894. He was a British lawyer, politician, and judge. In 1858, Begbie became the first Chief Justice of the Crown Colony of British Columbia. In colonial times, and in the first decades after British Columbia joined Confederation as a province of Canada. So just like shortly after. A very shitty colonizer motherfucker. This guy is...
awful.
An extreme piece of shit.
I actually have never heard of this. You're enlightening me right now.
He's a racist asshole. So Begbie served as the first judge of the Supreme Court, colony of British Columbia. 1858 to 1866, and then in the same capacity in the Supreme Court, the United Colony of British Columbia from 1866 to 1870. He was Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the United Colonies, blah, 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 and served as the first Chief Justice, saying the same thing, New Province of British Columbia, and served until his death on June 11th, 1894, whatever. In the years after his death, Begbie came to be known as the Hanging Judge.
Why? The Hanging Judge. Because he sentenced everybody to hang?
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yep. A lot of people. I'm just looking through here. We can get rid of some arms. Traveled throughout British Columbia on foot and later horseback, administering justice in sometimes informal circumstances. But he is said to have always worn his judicial robes and wig when court was in session.
Good for him. Yeah.
That's great.
It's professional.
Sharp, indeed. In 1860, Begbie found a white Californian man by the name of William Marshall guilty of assaulting a First Nations man based only on the testimony of First Nations people, the first time this had ever occurred. Begbie learned a number of indigenous dialects and even conducted trials in those languages without use of an interpreter. He had, I didn't read this part before. He had great friendships with a number of chiefs and was clearly sympathetic where it came to trying to impose colonial law on indigenous people. Wow, I take it back. He's less of a villain than I thought. I definitely didn't read this part before. He recognized the concept of Aboriginal marriage and allowed an oath for truth-telling that recognized
that's pretty...
Aboriginal beliefs. He allowed people of other cultures to swear an oath and truth on an object sacred to them in place of the Bible. Wow.
That's super.
Okay, hold up. Okay.
Okay, so
the Hanging Judge. I mean, okay, let me go back real quick to what I saw.
we're both learning. That's crazy.
Begbie ruled in 1886 that a law imposing very high license fees discriminated against Chinese people, even though it did not mention them because laundries at the time were overwhelmingly run by Chinese. Another ruling with a similar logic 2 years later compelled the city of Victoria to renew the license of Chinese pawnbrokers. So he was actually speaking on behalf of them. I don't know why I was half asleep earlier when I read this.
This is like the greatest fucking guy in the world.
Yeah, he's actually not a racist piece of shit at all. Whoops.
He actually learned a language of it.
Well, all it said was that he hung a lot of people, but they were mostly native people. And I just don't understand why it was that I read that. I don't understand where it was that. Anyway.
But the Hanging Judge is so. Well, I mean,
the source of the name, Begbie's legacy, was tarnished because he presided over a court in which 5 Chilcotin chiefs were hanged. He hanged 5 chiefs.
But I mean, did they do shitty shit? Because it doesn't matter what race you are if you're doing shitty shit.
Before 1871, only 3 white men were hanged for murder after trials that presided over Begbie. In the same period, 22 Indians were hanged. Begbie obtained reprieves for 11 others, though he never so much as urged a reprieve for a white man. So
he was still biased.
Was in the corner of the native people, it seems, which is kind of badass.
And I mean, obviously it's Vancouver Island, so we have a very huge population of First Nations. So, I mean, ratio just makes sense. But at the same time, was he doing it? Was he going to bat for the white people and then not going to bat for First Nations? Or was he at least attempting to do what he could do?
It seems like the other way around. He wouldn't help white people. He was like, fuck these guys.
Okay, so these are my heroes, new segment?
Oh, yeah. These are my heroes, okay.
I kind of like the twist. This is fucking good. And then in 1800s.
I just totally had this guy wrong.
In the 1800s, too, that's way, there's probably people with less sympathy than this guy nowadays, which is crazy. Which is not right, obviously, but
This is what's crazy. This is on the CRD, Victorian Region. In 1858, Matthew Begbie became the first Chief Justice, Crown Colony of British Columbia. Everybody says that. After a land dispute, Begbie hanged many members of the, I'm going to not even be able to say this, Chilcotin, maybe, nation, including several chiefs. This land was stolen from the indigenous peoples of the Caribou Chilcotin region after the government approved a road to Barkerville without consultation with surrounding nations. Begbie got the nickname of the Hanging Judge by being ruthless in his conviction of criminals in quotes, by sentencing them to be hanged. A majority of these, in quotes, criminals were indigenous. This form of institutionalized colonialism led to the assimilation and death of many First Nations. This courthouse is where his actions took effect. Today, he is commemorated for his impartial and fair rulings through colonist revisionist history. Okay.
So we're gonna take 2 at this. These are my villains.
Yeah, because
Thanks, Ghost.
because I don't know though now, because it's saying like in colonist revisionist history, he is celebrated as impartial and fair rulings. But
does that mean?
This random on crdcommunitygreenmap.ca, whatever that is, a celebration of living sustainably in Victoria region of British Columbia. I don't know. This is they really are not a fan.
So this is back and forth. So this guy's
Yeah, the Wikipedia says that he did a lot of things for Indigenous people, and this community green map, whatever it is, CRD Community Green Map, is saying the hanging judge got his nickname by convictions of criminals, in quotes, and sentencing them to be hanged.
your history homie. Is his name
Yeah, we got to ask Dan about this.
Dan? Yeah, I was about to say his name is your name, Dan.
Okay, well, we'll do
you think he would
get
know?
back to this. This is not. I expected to just talk about how shitty this dude was being a colonizer.
Well, I'm conflicted.
And then I reread it, and upon reading it, I'm like, wait, hold on. He's actually kind of like at the center of some controversy, it seems. So I got to get my facts straight. I got to talk to my homie Dan, and then I guess we'll revisit this. These are my villains or heroes. I don't know.
Yeah, it's up to you.
Maybe history's murky and gray. I don't know.
And if you know, chime in. Say something to us.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Now I feel a little
We're
bit
up to
silly.
play. Yeah.
What kind of podcaster am I? I don't even know what the hell.
Well, I mean, if you hear some shitty shit about a guy, roughly, like, if
It just goes to show you got to be a little bit like, you got to look closer here.
you gotta in depth the scenario. But
I thought I knew what was up, and then now I'm looking, and it's like he was just a scary judge who hung everybody in my memory, from the ghost
Right.
tour, and that's why this place is haunted, because of all the victims that he hung. Victims,
yeah,
the condemned and
criminals.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, yeah,
You
yeah,
know, like,
yeah.
And so I thought, like,
Alleged.
it's just more evidence of colonial, oppression, basically. And like,
Right.
But then he's also allowing people to swear oaths upon their sacred items instead of the Bible. Like, that's pretty fucking.
Which would never happen like 100 years ago. That's crazy.
A judge
over 100 years ago. Yeah.
in the 18. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, over 100 years ago.
Okay, well, if y'all know about this certain instance, chime in. Let us know. See if this guy was a good guy or bad guy. But maybe we'll have Dan on the thing and we'll bring that up to him and see if he can enlighten us on that. Because that's, yeah, is that a hero or a villain? We don't know.
Yeah, it seems like he gets a bad rap, and then this is not so, that he actually did better than people thought. Maybe he was fair with it. Maybe those people deserved to be hanged. Maybe he just needed to hang a lot of people back then.
Well, and then I'm trying to say this without saying this in a
People need to be hanged.
people need to be hanged. No.
That's what you're trying to say.
People need to die. Come on. No,
There's
what I'm
too
saying.
many.
So because Victoria Island, Vancouver Island, is a
Victoria
Island, man. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Is like we had a very big population of First Nations people. And if there was,
we're here because we
exactly, we literally came over here and
were
did
first.
stupid shit. They were the first ones. So
It's their nation.
if the population was granted more of them than us, then it would make sense that there was more of them
I see what you're saying.
as criminals hung.
I don't know if in Victoria at that moment
You know what I mean?
that they outnumbered white people at that time. I don't think it's what you're saying. Maybe
Because if you do something bad, regardless of your race,
I get it. You're just saying like statistically, there's more of them, so that's why more of them would have been criminals than
correct,
presented before them.
And then if people are just being like, oh, he hung a bunch of First Nations
I think
people,
it's a lot of
he's bad.
racist. I think it's a lot of racist cops.
Yes, that's
I think that's what
a
it
given.
was.
Yeah, yeah.
They know how to like. They just if they didn't listen to them, they would just lock them up and say you're going to be hanged now. Or
Oh,
whatever,
you're white. I'll hear you out.
So this hanging judge was probably like seeing a bunch of this and being like, no, you can't just because they're indigenous, you're just going to put them before me here and expect that I'm going to execute them. And so he tried to help people get off of these bullshit charges, which is
there's
pretty
potential
badass.
either way. Yeah, there's potential either way. Okay, we're gonna go to our first sponsor. What is our first sponsor?
It's going to be Goop Off.
Goop Off.
Yeah.
Yes.
Goop Off is a product that helps you get all kinds of sticky bullshit off of other stuff.
Kind of like Goo Gone.
Don't say that.
Oh wait.
You can't just say that, dude. Fuck. No, it's not.
Better.
It's not like that at all. It's better. It's about 8 times as strong, which is why it will take the paint right off your car. It'll take your beard right off your face. It's Goop Off.
It's essentially acid.
Yeah, absolutely. Just don't get it on anything that you care about.
But it's all.
It'll get the goop off.
It's healthy though. Yeah. It's all no preservatives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, well.
Goop Off.
Goop off. Hey, what are you kids doing in there?
Hey, we're just having some fun.
We're gooping off.
Yeah, it's a goop off.
What do you mean you're gooping off?
Oh, we're just taking the goop off and stuff. It's fun. It's burning my nose hairs.
Stings my eyes. Goop off.
Goop off.
Cleans anything off of any surface ever. It will dissolve absolutely anything. Teeth, saliva, bones, fingernails.
Wait.
Goop off.
Can I use this to get rid of my mom's new boyfriend?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, he's a real dick.
Goop
I hate David.
Okay. That's too many things. That's already too long.
All right, we're right back.
Oh, man, that was so much fun gooping off. That was sweet.
I love gooping off.
Yeah, we're just gooping off.
Yeah, that's my favorite Russian leader, Goopov.
Yeah, Dr. Goopov.
Dr. Goopov, yes. Crazy. Well, I hope you guys are having as much fun as we are.
I actually want to go.
I hope you're having as much fun as me.
I feel ridiculous if you get all my facts wrong.
No, it's kind of cool when you're
I feel like
actually
I slandered a good man, but I don't know though.
Damn it, you sultried the good name of
Sultried.
What was his
Made
name?
it hot. I've sullied it.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. What's his name? Doctor
Matthew Begbie. He's not a doctor. He's a judge. Man can only do so much.
Judge Matthew Begbie. Yes, him.
Dr. Judge, party clown, Matthew Begbie.
He did it all, man.
He was a busy
Nothing
man.
you could do with that. Yeah. All right, so we're going to go into the next segment, which is 16 weird facts you didn't know about Jaeger.
I don't know much about Jaeger, really.
And then it's one of my favorite drinks.
Why'd you have to do that?
Because they're paying me to. Come on.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, Jaeger's paying us. Yeah, it's a real sponsor for once.
I love Jaeger.
I love Jaeger too. Yeah.
Turns out it's my favorite drink of all.
Yeah. You never said shit about the shit.
Whenever I'm gooping off, I'll just sip on nice Jaeger, nice cold Jaeger.
Yeah, that's what I do on Saturday. A good goop off Jaeger sesh. So it was invented in a vinegar factory.
Huh.
Don't you say?
Yeah. Really, eh?
Ooh, yeah. Kurt Mass came up with
Gross.
Jaeger's original recipe in 1935, but it was 20 years before that he took over his father's vinegar factory in Wolfenbüttel. Do you know Wolfenbüttel? It's a German company.
Yes.
Or a German place, not company.
No, I don't know it.
Mass stopped producing the acidic stuff to focus entirely on manufacturing spirits, eventually creating the concoction we know and love today. It takes 365 days to make
Or a year.
a year for it to get to bottle. So it's aged for a year, which I didn't know that.
In a barrel?
In a barrel. Yep. That's how they do it. And they have 56 herbs and spices, including citrus peel, licorice, ginseng, and that has never changed in 79 years.
Well, that's gross. Did you say licorice peel? Wait.
Citrus
My brain-
peel.
Yeah, oh, right. It's like, hold on.
Citrus peel and licorice.
Licorice is not my thing. I think that's what I actually don't mind Jaeger except for the licorice flavor, which is basically all it tastes like.
Anus?
It's quite horrible. Yes, phenylanus.
Phenylanus?
That's not how you say it.
It's my rockstar persona. Phenylanus. It takes over a year to make.
Not too many Jaegers.
The Germans call it liver glue.
That's gross. I think they call it Jägermeister.
Jager. No, they call it liver glue, actually, says this.
Okay, sure.
While many of us know Jägermeister by way of nightclub shot glass, it was actually invented as a digestif. In Germany, it's still popular for an after-dinner sip. That's why it's lovingly known as Leberkislister. I said that properly. Translates to liver glue. Because it helps you get rid of your
liver
pork chop.
sticky.
Yeah. Jägermeister heals. Not medically proven, but it was sold.
The Jägermeister heals. Not medically.
Some yahoo. Yeah, some yahoo. Yeah. Like many herbal liqueurs, Jägermeister was originally used medicinally, and even today, people swear by its healing properties for easing flu symptoms from coughs to sore throats. And apparently, it was back in the day, you would have to get Jägermeister over the counter at a pharmacy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a tonic for your what ails you.
Yeah.
Really, you're just getting drunk.
Yeah. I feel great because I'm drunk.
Yeah.
It's a summer drink, or at least that's the inherent implication of Jägermeister Spice, a winter edition of the herbal liqueur made with the same 56 ingredients, but with an emphasis on cinnamon and vanilla.
So that's the more wintry version?
Yep.
And is it called the same thing?
Yep.
Winter liver goop?
Winter.
Whatever.
Yep. Winter liver goop. Yeah. That's what we drink in the winter. Keeps us warm. It's the world's best-selling liqueur.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
and that's the Jaeger.
Okay, well that was all 16. Well, good. I know all those things.
I gave you the cool ones. Yeah.
Nice. I thought it was going to be like, do you know what else is in Jaeger? Licorice. Number 14. Do you know what else is in Jaeger?
Lemon peel.
Licorice peels.
Hey, do you know what else is in it? Tree bark.
Is it?
Yeah.
What
no,
kind?
it's not.
It's not.
No, it's not.
Okay,
no, it's
good.
not, yeah. But anyways, it's my favorite thing. It's my favorite liqueur. Because I'm basically a basic bitch. And I call it my October juice. I like drinking it during the spooky season. That's one of my things.
Drinking it all day, haven't you? You're a mess.
You'll find out. No, I poured one just for this episode because it just seemed right. Well, I had it on hand, and it was something to talk about.
And you're having mine as well.
That's right, yeah, and I'm having yours as well, yes. All right, and then we're going into our last segment, which is a haunting final message and other takeaways from the Coast Guard inquiry into the Titan submersible implosion.
Spooky.
That's perfect. So we all remember the Titan submersible that went down.
Remember the Titan, that football player movie.
Oh, yeah.
Just one dude.
I
wonder what he's up to.
Yeah, fuck. You went down deep sea and exploded. More than a year after the Titan submersible imploded, killing all 5 voyagers on board, the story of the ill-fated expedition to the Titanic has taken the form of a modern-day Greek tragedy, overflowing with mortal pride and heedlessness. Testimony during the first week of the hearing by a U.S. Coast Guard panel probing the disaster has painted a damning portrait of the Washington-based company that developed and operated the 23,000-pound submersible, as well as its founder, who charged deep-pocketed passengers $250,000 per dive. So, if everybody's familiar with what the fuck happened, I would imagine that this Titan submersible went down deep to look at the Titanic. They didn't ask James Cameron because he's done it.
No, they tried to cut costs, which is hilarious considering it's
which is so fucked. So like
millionaires, but anyway.
I was talking to a homie at work and he the actual engineer, which I'm pretty sure is explained exasperately in this
What's exasperately?
Elongated. They use too many words, but basically what happened was there was an safety engineer that came aboard, and the CEO, who is now dead, told him to get in the ship and to go for a test run, and he said, I am not going in that damn thing.
Yeah.
And they fired him.
Yeah, exactly. That's the type of shit a billionaire will do.
And then since Monday, people who once worked with exploration promoter OceanGate and others described a terse final message sent seconds before contact was lost. What one witness called a smoke and mirrors company culture centered on profits rather than science, a malfunction of the Titan just days before it imploded, and repeated dire warnings that were ignored before a disaster struck 15 months ago. Stockton Rush, the founder and CEO of the vessel's operator, businessman Shahdaza Dawood, and his 19-year-old son, Suleiman Dawood, businessman Hamish Harding, and French diver Paul-Henri Negotel were all killed. Those remains were matched to the 5 men on board through DNA testing and analysis, according to the Marine Board of Investigation. So one thing that needs to be very clear is that there has been, up to this point, a perfect track record in deep submersions. Chris Roman, a professor at the University of Rhode Island's Graduate School of Oceanography, told CNN. The second is, it's not a cavalier, high-risk, every dive is like a daredevil event if done properly. There's no shortcuts here, especially in this business. And if you cut corners, it will bite you.
Why? Yeah.
So, I mean, it's one of those things where it's just...
This is what the whole world is looking at it. And this is why it's so hard for everyone to be sad about it. Right? Like when somebody is just absolutely asking for it like that. You know, like just... It's like... Like it looks... The word, you know... the S word. It looks like they're tried to die.
Yeah.
But they're not. They're obviously had lots to live for and didn't want to die. So like, what is going on here? You're just this hubristic. You're like, you've got so much money that you don't understand when someone tells you no. You literally not listen to physics. You won't listen to the ocean.
Yeah.
Like you're like, no, I will go here. And it's like, what?
And then not even, and a step beyond that, people who actually are engineers and went to schooling for the shit telling you no.
That's the entitlement. Even they cannot, like logic can't tell this person no. They're not like, no. I just have to believe and manifest and I will make it just fine. Trust me, it's just fine. Look at this thing, clunk, clunk, clunk on the side, like it's solid as a rock. Not understanding how fucking much pressure is under the ocean and like what it takes. And
you can tell his greedy brain, which like rest in peace to him too. I get like because
it's never cool. Again, it's never cool when human life is lost. Their families, heart goes out to them and stuff, right? And now, of course, they have to deal with the entire world like ridiculing the death of their loved one. Like most people,
he went with them.
Huh?
He went the CEO that basically caused all the.
I'm talking about their loved ones who are left behind, the victims, right? So these people have to now listen to jokesters like us being like, well, fucking they're asking for it, like it sucks because most people just get to mourn an accident that is tragic. It doesn't matter how much money they had. They're still people to those people. They're still very close to them and like their loved ones, dads, brothers, whatever, husbands. And now the whole world is like fucking laughing at them because we're angry at billionaires for having an excess of money. And basically that's an evil thing to do, to have so much fucking money that other people have nothing, but like at the same time, it's like, people are so angry they want to see that sort of shit happen. They want to see a bunch of billionaires get crunched by their own hubris.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Basically his in layman's terms, like he was obviously a smart guy that was able to create what he created, but at the same time, like what he initially thought was all I got to go is down, back up, and I can get these rich people to give me $250,000 per person. So just the two people, which was a rich family from, I'm not gonna guess where that was, it doesn't specify. That was $500,000 in his pocket.
Yeah.
Just going down in the ocean, a couple hours up, $500,000.
So
and that's all he thought. He was blinded by that.
Right, exactly. And just, like, I don't know. Anyway,
so,
horrible.
One of the final haunting messages from the Titan submersible was delivered at 10:14 a.m. local time in Newfoundland, Canada, according to an animation from the Coast Guard hearing. All good here is one of the last things they said. Half an hour later, about 10:47 local time, the Titan sent another message to its mothership, the Polar Prince, saying it had dropped 2 WTSs, referring to weight the submersible. So it dropped 2 weights holding the submersible, which could shed to either return to the surface or to ease its descent into the dark, hostile deep. In 6 seconds after that was transmitted, contact was lost. So a lawsuit by the family of one of the victims has claimed that the message about 90 minutes into the dive was an indication the crew might have known something was wrong and were trying to abort the mission. Seconds after that brief communication, the Titan was pinged for the last time, according to the opening presentation of the 2-week hearing. Days later, authorities found its wreckage on the floor of the North Atlantic Ocean, several hundred yards from the remains of the Titanic. According to the Marine Board of Investigation, which is the highest level of inquiry by the Coast Guard, the submersible lost contact with its mothership the morning of June 18th, 2023, when it failed to resurface. A dramatic internal search and rescue mission unfolded in remote. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. So,
crazy.
A key witness during the hearing's first week was David Lockridge, a former director of marine operations from OceanGate, who has expressed concerns about the safety of the Titan submersible. OceanGate's company culture was centered on making money and offered very little in the way of science. Lockridge described a 2018 report in which he expressed safety concerns over OceanGate operations and said, "There's no way I was signing off on this." He had no confidence whatsoever in the submersible's construction, he testified. Lockridge said his responsibility was to ensure safety of the crew, clients, and training pilots, but he felt more like a show pony because no one else was qualified as a pilot. It was all smoke and mirrors. He said of the way the company operated, all the social media that you see about all these past expeditions, they always had issues with our expeditions. Manufacturer of the Titan's viewport and acrylic window of the submersible had built and certified it for a depth of 1,000 meters, or about 3,280 feet. But Lockridge said OceanGate intended to take the vessel to 4,000 meters. So blah, 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 blah. And then
4 times as deep as they needed to go. Yeah, that's terrible.
And then he refers this as kind of ironic as an ocean wreck looking for an ocean wreck. Because the Titanic was an ocean wreck.
Yeah.
And this was an ocean wreck. So
yeah, it's a bad spot.
Yeah. So anyways, they're actually currently in court right now trying to, which I can't believe it was already a year and a half ago that this happened, which is kind of trippy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah.
Time goes by, hey?
Yeah. But yeah. It was controlled by an Xbox controller.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
It was. It was literally, you saw that? Yeah.
PS4 controller or an Xbox controller?
Yeah. Mad Cats probably was like a no-name.
Wild.
Yeah. But
you would feel so terrified going down in that thing with any sense. But yeah, no, there's like, I mean, I don't know if maybe said this before, but I think it was Duncan Trussell who had interviewed a guy who studies billionaires and basically said like the more he studied them, the more he started sort of thinking that well, in a way, I guess, but basically it's more just like a low level brain damage. Like to have that much money, it puts you out of touch with like a low level, you're at like a low level brain damage.
Consideration
is what he figures. Like he's talked to some of them and like been like, so this guy's planning to build a rocket to space. He wants to live on Mars or whatever. He's talking to one of these billionaires that's got like a shuttle he wants to he's building. It's like, okay, you're building this shuttle. It's like on board, you know, what happens when you run out of, I can't remember what it was. It was like when you run out of like anything, essentially. You run out of lithium batteries or you run out of fucking, you know, paper towel, for fuck's sake. You run out of like, you know,
basic necessities. Stuff
to like disinfect, you know, like you start running out of stuff. And he was basically just like, right. So bring more batteries. Like he makes a note, like,
he's so focused on
more. It's like, wait a minute. No, you just missed the point. It doesn't matter how much you bring. There's no more after that.
Yeah.
You can't bring enough for your whole life and to make a colony and to like sustain the rest of your existence. What are you doing? Like they just aren't quite getting it. You just can't tell them no. Logically, that's impossible because they're like, oh, that's ridiculous. That's what they said when I built my company from nothing. And
you're holding me back.
And it's just like you've been told yes so much in your life and you have such fucking influence and power that nothing tells you no. Not even nature tells these guys no. And so that, you know, and that's how we get, you know, that's how we get industry built and that's how we go to the moon and blah, blah, blah.
Risks.
It's like take risks, right? Yeah. And so it's just like, you know, yeah, I get what they're saying. Be a little cavalier. This is how the world that we live in today was built. A lot of people died in order to build this world we're living in today, but at the same time, it's just
Rome.
like, yeah, Rome, that's a place that was built.
It wasn't built in a day.
No, I've heard that before, but yeah, no. So basically, just
and then
the hubris, right?
And then the final thing I'll say about this is that he literally was on record saying, at some point, you have to avoid safety and just go with your gut instinct. He was literally like quoted being like, you just got to do it. If you keep worrying about safety, you're going to be held back and you're not going to achieve what you're supposed to achieve.
He said as he dove out of the plane without a parachute.
Essentially.
It's like, why?
The CEO of this was like, I had too many people in my way talking about safety.
Yeah.
And it was holding me back.
Yeah. Crazy.
So.
Yeah. Well, it's not holding him back anymore.
Nope. It's not. No, it actually, it held him in.
Anyway, yeah. So the heart goes out to the victims. Enough about that. We'll probably never talk about that again because we talked it already last time when it happened, and now we're talking about it again.
Yeah. Did we talk about this?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we talked about it when it happened.
Oh, I think we mentioned it. Yeah, maybe.
Probably just mentioned it.
It's right before this. Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody's talked about it before though.
My dog ring is looking to eat dinner.
Your dog ring needs to be fed. Yeah. Go down there. See which one of them.
No, it was a good episode.
Mr. Goose, you're good, bud.
Yeah,
you're
Goose.
Okay, Goose.
Goose.
You're okay, Goose.
Stop whining, Goose.
Say hi to Goose.
Goose. Do you have something to say, Goose? And
he's eating the mic.
He literally just put it in his mouth.
Yeah, he's just like, oh.
He just ulped it.
You did just like offer him a treat basically, but it was just a microphone. That was kind of cruel. Gross.
Yeah, well, that was the sound of a dog's larynx.
Well, now I don't know which one of them has been in Goose's mouth next time I use it, so that's cool.
What's up? You want to pause so I...
His mouth is
we're done.
Cleaner than ours anyway.
Yeah.
We're done. We've done enough damage here.
Okay.
Yeah, we got
yeah, anything you want to wrap up with this fun episode of despair?
I'm gonna go eat dinner. Yeah.
Ribfest.
Fucking Ribfest again, bro.
Yeah, Ribfest 2.0.
Did we talk about Ribfest? No, we didn't.
No, we were going to it.
We were going to it, but we never talked about what happened.
No. Oh, we got ripped off.
We got
ribbed off.
We got ribbed off. It doesn't sound as fun as it sounds. It's not as fun as it sounds. Yeah, we went there, right? Much anticipation. If you listened to the last episode, right?
We talked about it quite a bit.
I was so hungry, and we went there, and my mom had also gone, and so she waved us over. She was already in the lineup ahead of time. She's like, "Hey, come over here." So I was like, "Oh, it's my mom." Went over and stood with her, with yourself and Ben and Danny, and we waited for, I think, a full hour and a half for the lineup. And we got all the way to the kiosk and for ribs, beautiful smoky smell and everything. And the people in front of us got told no more ribs.
Literally the people in front of us.
Yeah.
We were second.
No more ribs at all. And then we looked at the kiosk to the next and their whole line dissipated also. No more ribs. And we were just like, oh my God.
What did you get? What did you end up getting?
All that was left, because we were trying to spend the whole time staring, okay, what am I going to get? Okay, what's my plan? And then it ruined our plan because we just had no combos left. We were going to get a certain combos and stuff. And then I ended up paying, oh my God. It was like, I got a pound of brisket for like $35 or something crazy. And then also, I mean, it was good, but like, goddamn. And then a half chicken for like $22 or something.
It's not brisket fest. It's not chicken fest.
I know. It was like kind of cold. And then I got a couple of orders of beans that were like each $3 or whatever. Cause I was like, I want to make sure I'm full.
Yeah.
These beans were ice beans.
Yeah.
Like icy cold. Like not just like, oh, they've been out in the weather and they're cold. Like it was summer, hot out. And they came out of a fridge. Like they were icy fucking beans. Those like chunks of ice.
I tried warning you guys.
Fucking crazy. And what's wild about that is that you guys had said you had taken chicken out.
Yeah.
And then you ended up going and paying for the most expensive chicken in the world because that was all that was left was chicken and fucking brisket. And I felt so bad.
It was chicken that night.
It was so brutal.
It was fucked.
Like,
we literally ate chicken. So we took it. Like, if you listen to the last episode, we're like, oh, I don't know. We took chicken out. And you're like, oh, you have to eat chicken because you took chicken out. And I'm like, oh, man.
I guess Rib Fest is only the today and we can have chicken tomorrow.
Yeah.
Go to Rib Fest. No ribs left, only chicken. Like, fuck.
Yeah, and then we're just like, are you fucking kidding me?
So it ended up being like fucking $68 or something crazy like that for like my couple things of ice beans and a half chicken and like a pound of brisket. And I ate that miserably and was cold. I was being a little bitch because I should have brought a sweater. Yeah. I was just like freezing. And oh man, it was a terrible time. Rib Fest was a big fucking.
It wasn't Rib Fest.
It wasn't Rib Fest.
It was a sham. Yeah.
Beans and chicken fest for us. And even it was a 4 out of 10 at best. Next time I'll just be going on Saturday.
Go Saturday. Go early.
Gotta go early.
Yeah.
That's on me. We went at 6:00.
We did.
It's too late.
And we postponed it too long. I do have actually one more thing that I want to add into this one, or else it's going to be a potential listener being upset again.
Uh-oh.
So I have to say this. It's Jub.
Yeah. You know.
You know. Okay.
Yeah.
So I took a cool picture of a guy in an old Ranger outside of an old school Burger King logo. And I'm like, yo, challenge, make a story about this. And he's like, got you.
I got you.
Okay, so here it is. This is the final entry, okay? Todd Jones was a middle of the road man. He lived an average life and had an average job. Todd was the store manager of a Burger King restaurant in Portland, Maine. His pride and
average job. He's a Burger King manager. Take that back. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
His pride and joy was his 1983 green Ford Ranger. On his day offs, he'd drive around downtown waving at the locals. It wasn't much, but it put a smile on his face. But all that would change on October 5th. It was a Friday night, and Todd worked the night shift. He came into work at 7:14, 16 minutes before his shifts would start. Nice. As he walked by the front counter, the staff would all greet him, knowing they needed to at least look busy. Todd walked into the office, stared at his 30-year plaque. Thanks for the 30 years of quality service, said the plaque. And then...
with its robot voice that it's programmed.
It's AI.
Hello, Todd.
And there, something snapped in Todd's mind. He pulled out the bottle of bourbon in his desk and took a long pull. He then returned to the front of the store and told the staff he would be back in 30 minutes. He hopped into his 1983 green Ford Ranger and the staff saw him pull around the corner, not realizing that was the last they would ever see of him. About a week later, his green Ford Ranger was found 2,087 miles away in Texas. The local law enforcement found it parked by an abandoned farmhouse. When the officer opened the door, there was no evidence of any wrongdoing. The lead officer did, however, find a note folded up on the passenger seat of the truck. As he opened it up, it had but one thing scribbled on it. It read, ... have it your way. Wow.
No.
Screen pans out and transfers to a table set with a Whopper, a side of onion rings, and a large drink. A professional voice then reads, until October 31st, Burger King's classic Whopper meals on for only $6.99. Try it today. BK commercial directed by David Lynch.
I don't think we can't say that, can we? Burger King? Like, we're gonna get so sued.
Oh, we're gonna get so sued. Yeah. Worth it. Yeah. Sorry, that was Burger Queen.
If Gone doesn't get us.
Burger Queen. Yeah, if Coop Gone doesn't get us. If, what was the other sponsor I said? It was another one. Yeah. Anyways, thanks, Jub Jub, for the story. We always appreciate your stories. We appreciate your continuing of attentiveness.
Dylan does.
Dan does too.
Oh, okay.
He'll be quite upset if he doesn't give a shit about my attentiveness.
I actually wasn't paying attention for half the story, so I can't wait to listen to that.
Yeah, it's a great story. It was actually, yeah. You gotta listen to that.
Yeah,
And
I will listen to it. I listened in at Have It Your Way, and that was when I focused again. So I have to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, it got Dan back.
Great story, Jub Jub.
Thanks, Jub Jub. Yeah, you're always killing it, Jub Jub. All right. So with that being said, we appreciate you fucks.
My mind's on my tummy and my tummy on my mind.
Hell yeah.
Hungry. I'm gonna go for dinner.
Hell yeah.
Gonna dine.
Right. We love you. You are our friends. Nobody's villains out here.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that segment kind of like, we'll see
Flop.
about that. Yeah, a little bit of a flop. I mean, I'm down for These Are My Villains. I just did kind of a bad first one because we flipped it around.
But that's kind of cool. That we like
controversial.
Learned something though. So
yeah, maybe. I learned that I don't know what kind of guy he was. And
a couple of white boys learned something.
History's complicated, but we'll have to get Dan back to talk about some scary villains.
He would be the one that we should start that segment with.
For sure, yeah.
Would be Danny. Yeah.
Danube.
Danube?
Danube.
Yes. Danube. Danube. Yeah, perfect. Stay a while and listen. Yeah. That's the old Deckard Cain.
Stay a while and listen.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. We appreciate your continued support, and we will see y'all very soon.
Let's do another one of these soon there, D.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you very much for listening in. Oh.
And Dan fucking dropped a record.
Oh, yeah.
A little small
Nothing
thing.
crazy happened.
Yeah.
Our fourth album, Necronoma Songs, is available now digitally, and our this probably won't be out by the time, but our release party is at the Phoenix on Saturday, and it's going to be a good time.
And we're going to have the boys on. We're going to do a full Torify
Yeah, we got to do it. I
Yes.
want to have the lads on. We can talk about Torify shit. So.
That'll be a full-on podcast with the boys. It'll be great.
We'll do the Life is Bad podcast revisit.
Revisited. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And these are my
friends. And here's Goose. Hi, Goose. Hey, Goose.
Oh, and he ate the mic again.
He's eating the mic. Okay. Stop it, Goose.
Cut.
Good boy.